Ready? Let's talk top blender, shall we?
Do you want to, just before you do that?
Yeah.
This is one of the most amazing cigars ever. Retro that.
Wow. Whoa. Yeah,
Wow,
that's a
that's
distracting
right.
cigar. Okay. In 5 minutes, let's talk blenders, your favorite blenders, why they are, and what makes up an incredible blender.
Are we live?
Yeah, no, we're live.
Okay, good.
We got 5 minutes.
My favorite blender is one Nelson Alfonso. Nelson Alfonso is the owner of Atabey and Byron. He has his son, Nelson Jr., that is also now starting to blend cigars. I gained such an amazing level of respect for him, not only spending time with him in Cuba and seeing the impact that he has in the Cuban marketplace, but as a blender when he came to the show with Crux. So tell him that story.
So I'm in the Crux booth, IPCPR, for the release of the new brand. He comes up, he tries a cigar, he looks at the packaging, he's a wizard, but that's not necessarily the point. He smoked a cigar, smoked it blind, never heard of Crux, didn't know anything.
No.
He started telling me where the tobacco was from. And he didn't say Nicaragua, he said Jalapa. Yeah, Jalapa's the wrapper. Okay, he started naming off the different parts of the cigar. And then he said, tell these guys that if they would let their Jalapa, whatever it was,
Right.
age another 6 weeks, then it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
What he didn't know was, because of the rebrand, we had to get stuff ready for the trade show, and we had to pull production 6 weeks early to get to show at the trade show. So he was right not only about the exact tobacco, but also exactly how long the tobacco was young.
And here's why I respect him. He doesn't use Nicaraguan tobacco in his cigars, but he knew the regions. Now, the other thing is I have the utmost respect for the guys that put together amazing cars and race cars. My dad being one of those that builds racing engines for cars, and there's that person that has to have everything perfect. If Nelson was putting a car together, it would be a Ferrari, and it would be perfect. He's the only guy that, they actually have a high scrap rate, that when they take a cigar and they put it in a draw tester to ensure that it's perfect, that the air is flowing through. They do this before they put a wrapper on. They put it into this device, and if it's typically a range of 40 to 60 psi of air that flows through, 40 being loose, 60 being tight, as far as they're concerned, or the other way around, tight would be less airflow. That air coming through to them is acceptable. You put it in the rack and they set it to have the wrapper put on it. He sets his PSI tolerance of a 2 PSI range that cigar has to land into, because he believes that oxygen flowing through the cigar impacts the flavor. Too much oxygen or not enough oxygen can change the flavor of the cigar from what he wants. And when you want to be that precise, and there is no precision in rolling these cigars, it is almost the luck of the draw, because every cigar leaf is a different thickness, and it's going to wrap differently. But that is how meticulous that he gets with his blending. Plus, his blends are, to me, are fantastic.
They're phenomenal. On the other side of that is tight, precision, perfect. On the other side, a blender I truly respect is Edgar Hoyle.
Yep.
Edgar Hoyle, where Nelson may be the guy who's fine tuning and making sure all the bolts are straight up on the Ferrari. Edgar Hoyle is the type of guy that'll take a 64 Impala with the wheels falling off. He'll slap some wheels on, bolt it together, drive down the road and go, holy shit, I can't believe that thing worked.
Yeah.
His blends, he utilizes tobacco that's got more body, more earth, more rigor to it. And I think, to me, I gain so much respect because he can see through some of the strength and be able to. It's one thing to have real fine tobacco, but to have stuff that's got more earth and body to it,
right,
and to be able to blend that in such a way. Edgar Hoyle is a killer blender with one shot, one kill.
The one thing that I've found with a lot of these great blenders, and there are several, by the way. I think Willie Herrera is a fantastic blender. I think that Pete Johnson has a great vision with Tatuaje of what he wants cigars to do, and he really trusts the folks at My Father, Don Pepin and Jaime Garcia, to come together and make his dreams come true. But Edgar is one of those guys that, you're right, he has the ability to take young tobacco and put it together in a cigar and take a puff of it, and for me, my eyes will water and it just tastes terrible. But he has this way of knowing what it's going to taste like when it's finished, and he can get past that. To me, that's still so apparent when I smoke a young cigar that I just can't get past that flavor. But it would be like a chef tasting something, and it hasn't all come together, but he knows how it's going to come together,
where it's going to
and
work.
I'm stuck on, no, that piece didn't taste good. And for him and for a lot of these blenders, they can get past that. And it's an incredible talent.
Could not agree more. And you see this with the top lines. Is the top lines in our humidor are there because the personality is there, the product is there, their process is together. But importantly, these guys know their stuff. And when you know your stuff, you can't fake a good blend. Even if you have really good tobacco, and some blenders have said that all you need is good tobacco to make a good cigar. That's not the truth.
Nope.
I mean, you can't take good jelly and good steak. Well, maybe that could work. Even maybe that could work. But
Steak's always good.
You have to know what's going to happen. The Hogan's with Crux.
Right, very
Darren
good.
Chaffee has a palate that I've never seen before. And you look at some of these incredible blenders, it's all about their knowledge of what the tobacco is going to be, not what it is. It is.
And it's just that talent to know how to put it together, and in what order you put those leaves in there, and where you stage certain leaves at the foot of the cigar or at the cap of the cigar. That makes such a difference in the way the cigar smokes. We smoked a cigar the other night that Darren Chaffee did from Principle. It was a cigar it's not really available. It's called the KBF Gold Connecticut. But this particular cigar, I was smoking it with Dave Wagner. We smoked through the first, let's call it third. And he's like, it's pretty passive. So then I go, but watch. And this thing takes a turn. And it goes from a 3-inch strength to a 6.5, 7-inch strength like this. And it's just, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what happened? But it comes at the right time. And it's just, it was just an amazing experience. He was pairing it with a particular port finish scotch that, a Dalmar that he said was just, it made the scotch so much better.
Which is perfect to get into our final segment, which we're going to talk about pairings. If you have a question about blenders, toss them in now. We'll check them out on the turn. Yeah,